Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial on my go-to glam makeup look, and I love this look. I wear it all the time when I'm going out. I wore it on my birthday, I wore it on a couple of my friends' birthdays, I wore it on my boyfriend's birthday. I just love wearing it when I'm going out to any party or event or anything like that because it's super fun, super dramatic, super glittery, super glam. I just love it. Sometimes I will change up the lid color. I'll go for like a classic black smoky eye or a brown smoky eye, but most of the time I do love to do the burgundy just because it's so fun to pair with the burgundy lip and go for that whole monochromatic makeup look. I'm super duper into that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this makeup tutorial. If you like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up on your way out. And as always, you can leave me any comments, questions, or concerns in the comment section down below. Don't forget to check my description box for all the products used and mentioned in today's tutorial, as well as links to all my social media platforms. So yeah, if you guys want to see how to get this makeup look, then just keep on watching. So I'm going to be starting out today with my Marc Jacobs Perfecting Coconut Face Primer, just because this is such a hydrating primer, and I am going to be going in with a very mattifying foundation today. Then I'm going to be going right over that with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, and this is the smoothing one. I'm just going to place that right over my nose and cheeks where I have the most visible pores. Then I'm going to be going in with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer to prime my eyelids, and I love this concealer as eye primer because it helps cover up all the veins in my lids and it does not crease. Then I'm just buffing that all over my lids with my damp beauty blender and setting it with a translucent powder so it's easier for the eyeshadows to apply and the concealer doesn't crease. Then I'm just further setting my lids with the NYX eyeshadow in the shade Kiss the Day to help all the eyeshadows that I'm applying later blend better. Then for my first transition shade, I am taking Anastasia eyeshadow in the shade Orange Soda as my first transition shade, and I'm just buffing that all across the crease. If you have Peach Smoothie by Makeup Geek, it's basically the same shade. It'll work just fine. This is just what I'm using today. So I'm just sloppily blending that in my upper crease for a little bit of warmth. Then I'm going to pick up Crème Brulee by Makeup Geek, which is just a little bit deeper and more brown, and do the exact same thing with that, just to deepen up that transition. So just sloppily blending it all the way across the crease from outer corner to inner corner. Then I'm going to go in with some tape, and I'm going to use this to sharpen up the edges of my eyeshadow, and you just want to make sure that you put these on evenly so the lines are symmetrical on both sides. Then I'm going in with Cocoa Bear, also by Makeup Geek, and I'm taking this on a Real Techniques 204 brush, and I'm just placing this eyeshadow a little bit lower in the crease than I did with the previous two transition shades, because this is what I'm really using as my crease shade to deepen it up. So I'm doing this exact same thing, just buffing that all the way across the crease, just making sure I keep it in the lower part of the crease and under the crease and not bring it up too high. Then I'm just going back in with my M504 brush by Morphe to buff all that out. Then I'm taking Bitten, also by Makeup Geek, which is just a deeper cranberry shade, and I'm doing the exact same thing with that I did with the Cocoa Bear. So just blending that all the way across the crease just to add kind of some more purpley tones into that and help deepen up the crease a little bit more. So just blending that back and forth all the way from outer corner to inner corner. Then I'm going to go in with another Anastasia eyeshadow. This is the shade Deep Plum, which is just a little bit darker and more purple than Bitten. And again, just doing the exact same thing with that, just to add some more depth and some more purple to kind of take away some of that red tone that I've got going on right now. And just blending that on the crease and a little bit on the lid as well. And then buffing that back out again with my M504 brush by Morphe, just to avoid any harsh lines. Then I'm going to go back in with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer again, and I'm just going to place that all over the lids with this e.l.f. concealer brush. This is just going to help the lid color really pop and give it something to cling to so that it shows up a lot more pigmented than it would if it was just going on top of the powder. So then I'm just taking that Deep Plum shade mixed with a little bit of Bitten and packing that all over my lids with a MAC 242 brush. And as you can see here, it's showing up very intense and pigmented because of the cream base that I put on underneath of it. I want to make sure that when you're applying this lid color that you're really pressing it onto your lid so you get the most pigmentation out of it. Then I'm just going to go back in with that Real Techniques brush and just blend that crease out
so that there are no harsh lines between my lid color and my crease, and it looks nice and seamless. Then I am taking off the tape to reveal that nice, sharp, crisp line. Then I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and clean up any fallout that I have going on from that eyeshadow. Then I'm going to draw on my wings, and as usual, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Eyestudio Gel Liner in the shade Blackest Black. And I did my best to get a good bit of it in frame here. You guys know I'm not really that good at putting my liner on camera. So I will link my in-depth winged liner tutorial for you guys below in case you're interested in seeing how I do this. But as usual, I'm just drawing a line across my lash line, winging it out, and then connecting it. Then I'm just showing you guys a trick here that I've been doing recently. I'm taking this brush by Zoeva. This is the 322 Brown Line brush with a little bit of concealer, and I'm just using that to clean up and sharpen the wing a little bit. Then I'm going to finish up the face by starting with some color corrector. This is the Smashbox color correcting stick in Look Less Tired Light. And this is just going to help cancel out some of that darkness underneath of my eyes. Then I'm going to take my Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer Concealer, which is obviously amazing full coverage, and I'm taking that on a Morphe EE8 brush and just buffing that underneath my eyes to help further conceal and cover up the darkness, which you really want to make sure you're doing when you're working with kind of purpley shadows or smoky shadows, because you don't want everything to look too dark and smoky. So you want to make sure your under eyes are nice and bright. And then I'm just buffing that out with my beauty blender just to soak up any excess product because I don't want it to look too heavy or cakey. Then for foundation, I'm using my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. And I love this foundation for any time that I'm going out or I know that I'm going to have my picture taken or, take lots of selfies, whatever, because honestly, this foundation looks amazing photographed. This is by far my favorite foundation for taking pictures. I don't know what it is about it, but it just photographs so amazingly well. It's also very, very full coverage, as you can see, and very, very matte and long wearing, so it's perfect for a night out. And obviously it is much, much, much darker than my face, but it matches my neck and the rest of the body, and that is what I'm going for here. So I'm just dotting that all over my face and then blending it out with a beauty blender, which I really, really like for this foundation because it is a little bit thicker, so it just kind of helps it look a little bit more natural. Then I'm going to conceal and highlight my under eyes a little bit more using the same MAC Pro Longwear Concealer that I used before, and I love this concealer also for a night out because it's really, really long wearing and also nice and matte and full coverage. And then I'm just going to buff that out with the same beauty blender. And I'm going to take the excess product from that eye and blend it onto my nose and my chin. And then I'm going to blend out the other eye, and I'm going to take the excess product from that eye and blend it onto my forehead. I do like to highlight those other areas as well, but I don't like to put too much product there because I don't feel like I need that much and I don't want it to look too heavy or cakey, but I just want to balance out that highlight. Then I'm setting my under eye concealer with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I always use this powder as opposed to my secret brightening powder when I know there's going to be pictures taken, because it looks a lot better in flash photography because it does not give you a flashback. Then I'm just going over that with this yellow powder from my Kat Von D Shade Light Contour Kit just to help further brighten up that under eye area and give it a little more coverage. Then moving on to my brows, I am first combing them out with a spoolie and filling them in as usual, starting off with my outer tail, filling in any sparse areas, and I am using my Anastasia brow wiz today, and then filling in the front of my brow using a very light hand and little flicking motions. Then when I'm done with that, I just go back in with the spoolie and comb all the product through my brows just to help blend it out and make it look a little bit more natural. Then I'm going to go back and finish up my eyes, and I'm lining my waterline with the ColourPop liner in the color Best O, I believe, which is this kind of a very similar shade to what I've got going on my eyelids. But I'm taking that same color combination that I have on my lids, and I'm just smudging that onto my lower lash line with the Zoeva 226 smudger brush. Then I'm going to pick up some Cocoa Bear on a pencil brush, also from Zoeva, and help blend out that lower lash line a little bit more. Now I'm taking this Anastasia highlighter in the shade So Hollywood, and I'm going to use that to highlight my inner corners, and my brow bone. So I'm taking that first on a pencil brush on my inner corners, and then I'm going to use that same brush that I used for the concealer on my lids to highlight underneath my brow bone. Now for the fun part, I'm going to do some glitter, and I'm first taking my Too Faced Shadow Insurance glitter glue, and I'm just going to squirt out a little bit of that on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to pick it up on a small angled brush by Sigma and just press that onto the inner corner of the lower lash line of my eye. Then I'm taking this NYX glitter, I believe it's in the shade Gold, not positive, but I will link it below, and I'm just pressing that right over top where I put the glitter glue. You can bring this all the way across your lower lash line if you want to, but I just think it looks really, really pretty to pop it in the inner corner. Then I'm going to bronze up my skin using the Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade 240. I talked about this bronzer in my last makeup tutorial, and I just think it makes such a beautiful bronzer because it's just a little deeper than my skin tone and has a really, really beautiful, warm, golden undertone. So I'm just dusting that all over my cheeks and my forehead to add a little bit of warmth to the skin. Then I'm going to go in with a second bronzer. This is the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit, and I'm just using this to deepen up that bronze a little bit. This is something that I've been doing a lot lately and I really like. It's kind of like the first bronzer is my transition shade of bronzer, if you will, and this just deepens it up a little bit, helps it blend together better. Then to contour, I'm going back into my Shade and Light Contour Kit by Kat Von D, and I'm picking up this shade here on the left on my Sigma F40 small angle something, I don't know, some kind of angled brush. And I am using that to carve out my cheekbones, and I am also going to use that to contour my forehead. As you can see here, I'm just pressing that into my hairline to add some structure and definition to my face. And then I just had to stop and do a quick little dance party. Anyways, moving on, I'm just going to take my NARS Vita brush with that same contour powder from Kat Von D just to sharpen up that contour a little bit more. Then I'm going to do some baking. So I'm using my Laura Mercier translucent powder and taking that on a damp beauty blender and just placing that right underneath my contour line just to sharpen it up and clean it up a little bit more. So just dabbing that on. And then I'm going to leave that on for a couple of minutes while I finish up the rest of my face. So for my first highlighter, I'm going to be taking Laura Geller Gilded Honey and putting that on my cheekbones with my Real Techniques setting brush. And then I'm going to go in with another highlighter. This is Champagne Pop by Becca, and just placing that right over top of the Gilded Honey. And then I'm also going to dust some of that on my nose and my Cupid's bow and chin and forehead to highlight those areas of the face as well. Then for my third and final highlighter, I am taking that same So Hollywood highlighter that we used to highlight my inner corners and just intensifying that highlight a little bit more. I know this is a lot of highlighter, but it's me and it's what I do, so yeah, I'm going to do it. Anyways, then I'm just going to dust off of that bake using my Real Techniques powder brush, just a big fluffy brush. And just dust away all that powder and blend out all my contour. So I'm just going over that whole contour area to buff everything out, make it look nice and smooth. For blush, I'm going to be taking Clinique's Smoldering Plum, and I'm going to dust that on my cheeks with my e.l.f. blush brush. Then I'm just going to curl my eyelashes, and I'm going to put on some mascara. For mascara today, I am using my L'Oreal Voluminous Butterfly Mascara, which you guys know I am in love with for my bottom lashes. I'm not crazy about it for my top lashes, but it's what I had laying around, and it doesn't really matter anyways because I am going to pop on some falsies in just a second here. So for my lashes today, I'm going to be using the Ardell Demi Wispy lashes. These are just my go-to lashes, honestly. They're really easy to work with, and they're very natural, but they just give you a little something to your eye, give your lashes a little pop. To finish off the look, I am doing my lips, and for this I am using the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the shade Exorcism, which I love so much. It's so beautiful. It's just a really deep, vampy, purpley, plummy, gorgeous shade that kind of ties together with the eyes. You could always go with a nude if you want to, but I just love this whole monochromatic look I've got going on. Then, last but definitely not least, I am going to drown myself in some Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray, so my makeup lasts all night long and is not slipping and sliding around. And this also is going to help fuse together all of the powders that I have on my skin with my base and make it look a little bit more skin-like, if that's possible. And so after all of that is dry, this look is complete. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!